The most powerful stories come from the ones we see every day. Not every journey is loud. Some are quiet, raw, and still changing lives. This is Unformed, where real stories unfold. Hello and welcome to another episode of Unformed. Sean, hello. I am very happy to have you here.
It's my pleasure.
To be honest, I normally prepare an introduction for every guest. With you, I thought a lot, and I probably watched every video you have online, and I read all your social media posts, and I prepared a really nice introduction.
Oh.
And then yesterday, when I shared your video on my page, someone reached out to me and sent me a direct message, sharing a personal experience about her brother and how you affected her life. And then when I read her message, I said, you know what? I'm going to drop the introduction. Because if there is anything that sums up the impact that you have on the people around you, it would be this message. So I'm going to read it, and I hope I don't cry.
I hope I don't cry.
So I'm going to read it. She said, my brother was passing through a horrible period 2 years ago, similar to Sean's situation. He wanted to take his own life because he couldn't take it anymore. Then he came across Sean's account. I don't know Sean personally, but he's the reason my brother is still with me and recovering with the gym and all. Please share his story with him and tell him to keep sharing his content. He literally saved a life we couldn't save here.
Ooh.
Sorry, I need to stop. I don't. And then she continued. She said, do you know how bad it is for a man to pass through an experience that humbles him in front of his family and friends? We saw him strong, but he was ashamed of himself. We tried to speak to him in all sorts of ways, but nothing worked. When someone like Sean goes out and speaks openly about what a man struggles with, he doesn't only help the man suffering in silence, but he helps the families of those individuals who are watching in pain and they don't know what to do. I got this message, and then I paused for a second, and I said, if this is not the whole point of what you do, then I don't know what is.
I've got goosebumps all the back of my neck. It feels like you've got a sense of purpose, which is nice. Because I just feel like I'm just a normal guy, you know.
So before we get to this, I want to go a little bit, take a step back for everyone watching, just for them to understand exactly what we're talking about. Can you please take me through what happened to you in 2019?
Yeah, between 2018 and 19. So it started off, so I've been diagnosed with Crohn's since I was 15. So from the age of 15 onwards, I've had it under control, kind of. And then it got to a point when I was 21. So that's 2018, 2019. And then I went through a year of not taking medication because I was just fed up. I thought, you know what, I can beat it myself. I don't need medication. I was partying a lot, doing stupid things. And then it got to a point where I started bleeding out so my back passage. So what they do then is I went to the hospital. They put you on a course of steroids just to try and mask it. And then it was like, right, well, have you been taking your medication? So I was like, well, no, obviously it's stupid. And then they said, right, we're going to try and put you on a new one, which is called Humira. They put me on that and my body rejected it. I was like, oh, well, this ain't good. And then I told my nurse and she said, oh, just try it again, have another dose. Whilst I'm doing this, it was like 2-3 weeks going by trying this medication and I was still passing blood. So I was like, well, nothing's working. And then I had the next dose. And then when I had that dose that night, I collapsed in the shower. Yeah, so it was because it was just making me more ill and ill because I was eating, but it just kept coming straight through me. So this is like to the point where it's like, right, well, the medication's not working, something's bad. So then I rang my nurse up. She said, oh, it might be anxiety. You're just overthinking things and stuff. I was like, right, okay, well, I'll just give it another chance. As each day went on, I got progressively worse. I stopped eating. The weight started dropping off me slowly. So I was like, well, what do I do? So my mum kept taking me to A&E. So that's like the emergency room. And they kept sending me home because my doctor was the only person who could prescribe me any new medication, you know, because I'm under a certain professor. So I was like, well, they keep sending me home, what to do? So I just checked online, where's the closest gastro hospital, which is like to do with what I've got. And the closest one was Oldham, which is about 20 minutes away. So I rang my brother and said, can you just take me? He said, it'll only be an hour. And then, little did I know, I was in there for 12 weeks when he dropped me off. Yeah. So when I got dropped off there, they were trying me on different medications each week, but it just, like a spiral. Working. No, nothing was working. It was just getting worse and worse. It's a good job I went. And they were just going worse and worse. They put me on different medications. And the weight was just drastically falling off me. And it was just getting to a point where it was like, well, there's nothing working, then what am I going to do? But they put me on medication on the Monday, like into your veins. And then by Wednesday, Thursday, they'd take you off and then see how you manage. And then my temperature would spike. So there's infections there. And it was just like repeating constantly every week.
So was that like a constant inflammation?
Yeah, constant inflammation. Because they couldn't figure out, like, obviously it's Crohn's, but there's something else. So they'll pump in antibiotics into my body to try control the infection, but it just wouldn't go. So like on Monday, Tuesday, it would come down, my obs were good. And then Wednesday, Thursday, once they take me off, straight away going into 40s, like nearly having a fit. It was just the same cycle constantly. So as each week went on, I was losing weight more, slow. So I went in at 90 kg. And then by the end of it, on the first time in hospital, I was 44.
Was that because you were not eating, or the food was just passing?
Yeah, so because I was not eating. They were trying to make me eat, but every time I ate, I was just passing blood, and it wasn't a solid poo, you know. So I was like, well, what's the point of me eating? Because I was in that much pain. And then there was a point where I was like, well, if you're not eating, we need to put you on a feeding tube. So I was like, right, okay. But then it was like a conveyor belt. Once I put that in, it was like one in, one out constantly. So I remember they brought a commode in, you know, like a toilet on wheels. So it's a toilet on wheels. And the nurse left it me. I just said to just leave it because I was too weak, you know, to walk to the toilet. So I said, just leave it there. Shut my curtains, I just sat on it and I just cried.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was one of the nights. And then as it got worse progressively, probably like 10 weeks in, it was to the point where I was skin and bone. I think it was sepsis the first time round. And I remember my surgeon come see me. He said, I've seen all your results. We tried you on different medications. He said, let's just try a bag. It won't be permanent. He said, but it'll save your life. I was like, just do what you want. I was at the point. I was like, right, whatever. And then that's when I had my first operation. Everything went fine. Obviously, it felt like I'd been in a car crash. Like
before the operation, so in the events that led to the operation, you felt like, from a medical perspective, nothing was working.
Nothing was working at all.
But how did you transition emotionally as well and psychologically from I'm just going to the hospital for an hour and then the whole thing that happened over 12 weeks?
It went by too quick. And it was like I shut my eyes and then I woke up and then I've got a bag. Does that make sense? Because I was so ill and it was like shell shock. Everything was blurry and everything was just happening so quick. And because my temperature, you know when you're ill and you're just like, oh, and you're a bit groggy. That's how it felt for 12 weeks. It was just weird. And then it was just a problem after a problem. And then there was nothing. And then I wouldn't say I wasn't positive then. I was just like, it is what it is. I'm just going to let it be. I was just miserable watching TV. Because all I was doing, I was in a little room like this. And then I refused to walk because nothing was going my way. So I was being a little baby, pretty much. And as the weeks went on, I got worse and worse. And that's probably why I lost so much weight. I lost all my muscle. Just because I just couldn't be asked. I had no hope, nothing. And that was the first time round. So once I had that operation, I got better after 2 months. And then friends and family raised a lot of money for me to go on holiday to celebrate. So I went to Amsterdam. But then when I was in Amsterdam, I got scar tissue build up. So I ended up in hospital in Amsterdam. So they were going to operate on me there just to get rid of the scar tissue, but I didn't have medical insurance. So I flew home from Amsterdam at Christmas time. And then in this operation, they perforated my bowel. Yeah.
So that's the second operation.
So this is the second operation. This is at Christmas. But they didn't know what was wrong with me. I've had the operation, totally fine. Everything's okay. And as the hours went by, the pain was next level. Like I'm talking, it felt like someone's pushing the hands through your stomach. And all the nurses, and I was calling the nurses horrible names. Horrible, like I was...
Because you were not...
Yeah, I wasn't in a fit state. And then my stomach was getting bigger and bigger, obviously because my bowel perforated, and I was constantly throwing up. And then when you have a stomach operation, like the first time round, I couldn't get out of my bed. I'm going from my bed to my chair, to the chair, to the bed, because I was just so uncomfortable. And I was throwing up constantly, all the time. And as the hours went on, my belly was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then my dad visited me at night time. And then he had an argument with one of the doctors, like, something's clearly not right. Like, he's throwing up constantly, he's in pain. Like, when I mean I was in pain, it was horrible. One of the doctors, out of hours doctors, come see me, lifted up my dressing. So as you can see, like, my scar here, it wasn't like this always, it was a little tiny scar. He's pulled the dressing down and all the gunk has come through my stitches from the other operation, and you could smell it like bright green. He's realised, well, it's infected. Then I went for a scan, a CT scan I think it was, seeing that my bowel was perforated. Then they rushed me in, ended up in emergency surgery, had a bowel wash, and I had to have another bag, so I ended up with 2. And then I was in induced coma.
You already at that time had 1?
Yeah, I already had 1. And they thought, you know what, let's give him 2. so they give me 2. And then I was in induced coma then, till New Year. So then when I woke up...
Why did they put you on induced coma?
Because I was so weak. So I only recovered for 2 months. And then I was in Amsterdam Hospital, flew back. And then I've had an operation. So when you have an operation, a stomach one, it's not easy on your body. And then they had to operate on me again literally in the space of 24 hours. So I've gone back from putting my weight back on, I've lost it all, literally again. So then they had to operate again, and then I was already weak, and then I've got sepsis. So this is where I was like, right, well, this is 50-50 now. So they told my family, like, they're going to put him in induced coma and see how he recovers. Obviously, come in, see him, and it's 50-50. You know, if I make it, I make it. I don't. But me, I'm just having a good sleep, so I didn't know. I didn't know any better. So then after that, when I woke up in intensive care, I'm looking around and it's like a spaceship. And my family around me, I just thought, I felt normal. But then obviously, they've sat around me and the doctors have explained what's happened. Your bowel was perforated. It's a normal thing. Well, not normal, but it can happen. I was like, right, okay. And then said, just before that, I said, I just need to tell you what's actually happened and what we've done. I was like, what do you mean, what you've done? And then when he's pulled my blanket down, it was like, oh shit, you know, like Dr. Octopus out of Spider-Man. I had a drain, so you see, I had a drain there, I had a double barrel here, another drain here, and a drain there. Like, what's this about? I said, you've got 2 bags now. So we had to have 2 bags to let the hole heal, so they put one just right underneath my stomach. So I was like, all right, okay. So now what? I said, well, you just got to recover. I was like, well, can I get rid of this? The first question is, can I get rid of this? I only just got used to having this. Can I get rid of that? It's like, yeah, but you have to wait in for 12 weeks to let it heal. I was like, right, okay. So at that moment then I was like, oh.
Sean, what is the effect of having that bag at the beginning? Because in a lot of instances, when even my conversation with the girl that texted me, she told me that the emotional impact is really heavy on the person once they tell you that you will get that back. How did it feel for you? For
the first time, so I remember, so the nurse come see me, she was called Dorothy, and she was very straightforward, like a spade's a spade with her. And she was like, firm but fair. She was like, this is what it is. I said, you'll be fine. I said, it's just like, she said it, she made it a joke, like it'd be a fashion item and you can give it a name. So that took the edge off a little bit. And then when she said that, I said, yeah, that's quite funny. So I was like, right, well I'll give it a name. At the time, I didn't know too much about it because I didn't want a bag. I didn't want one. Like, I've always knew it was in the back of my head. It could have been a possibility. But at the time, because I was so weak and I was in pain so much, I was like, do whatever you want. You can give me a bag on my chest. I'm not bothered. Just give it me. And I think it's just a fear of the unknown. But because I was so weak, I wasn't, I went with it up there to like get with it, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like, my emotions weren't there at the time, so I was like, right, we'll give it me. And then I think further down the line, I got used to it. Do you know? I don't think I had time to take it in at start because I was so weak. It took me a few more months to get used to it, if that makes sense.
You mentioned your dad.
Yeah.
And I've seen your dad on social. I know I'm not stalking, you know. I just had to go through the content. But I've seen your dad on social in some posts. He was thanking the gym community.
Yeah, he's a good man, my dad. He's an old school, big geezer. Big shout out to my dad.
Yeah, and he was thanking the gym community, and he called them your second family.
Yeah, literally.
How did you transition after you woke up? And how long did it take you to go back to maybe movement a bit?
So you're meant to go to the gym 12 weeks after your operation. I went at 6, so I still had a hole in my stomach, but I was just eager to get back in. All I had in my head is I need to get big again. I don't want to be skinny. I need to get big. So all I did to recover for that, I just wake up, eat, and then sleep, and then just do a lap of the house. And then as soon as I got into the gym, I was in the gym every day. Like, I wasn't bothered what I looked like. I didn't care. I just knew I will get bigger because I've done it before. I can do it again.
What did it take for you to have this mental, like, sometimes or most of the times when people pass through injuries or traumas that are related to physical to them physically, it's really hard to find that click back again. It's super hard to go back and say, okay, I do trust my body again, and as it was able to do it once, it will do it twice. Because they normally romanticize it a lot on social, but it takes so much time and effort, and it takes so much patience. How were you talking to yourself at that time?
I think I'm just good at self-motivating, and I get it from my dad. So like my dad always says, like, remember who you are, you're a Carr. So like he always had that image of like, your surname is royalty, so remember who you are, you know, be proud of who you are. So it's like, right, if I've got to do this, you're a Carr. And then that just gives me that bit of fuel, to light into me. So my dad's a big reason. Obviously my mum as well, but my dad's, I've always been training with my dad since I was like 12 in the gym, so I look up to him. And he's one of them people where when tough times happen, he just gets up and carries on. He's not one of them to sit in the moment. He'll be like, right, it's done now. I'll have 5 minutes to myself and then I'll just carry on. So a few months back, his mum passed away. And I said, are you okay? He said, yeah, I've had my cry. I'm okay now. And I just carried on working. You know, and like that's someone who I look up to. I think, you know, when tough times happen, he don't sit and fester and feel sorry for himself in the moment. He'd be like, it's okay, it will get better. You just got to keep going. So my dad's the main man for that.
Yeah, shout out to your dad.
Yeah, big shout out to Big Dave.
And when you started going to the gym, how did it feel like, and how did you start?
So I started off, so the gym I got back into was my gym back in the UK, SBG. So I started there, but it's not really like a bodybuilding gym, it's like a martial art gym. So I did a few sessions there, and I went to Evo down the road, which is like a proper bodybuilding gym. Everyone's massive. At the time, I used to think, oh, everyone's watching me. Oh, I felt nervous. But in reality, no one's watching you. It's just the thoughts in your head, like, oh, you think he's really skinny. That's all it just kept going through my head. I thought, you know what? It is what it is. People are going to stare because I look ill. I looked really ill. And once I got past that thought of knowing people are going to stare, I just did it. It didn't bother me. Like, there's a video on my Instagram where I walk into a gym and I'm doing squats. Literally, I'm skin and bone. I've got shorts on, showing my legs and my t-shirt, and it didn't bother me. Because I just knew, I just thought, it is what it is. I'm just going to accept it. I can either feel sorry for myself or just get on with it. And it goes by quick because it feels like yesterday. I can remember it.
And honestly, I have so much respect to the way you're putting things. You're recognizing that, yeah, maybe people would be staring, but still I didn't care because I knew that it was just my before, and more you were working towards your after. And that helped me as well in my personal journey at the gym, where when I felt so low and I really couldn't look myself in the mirror because I was looking myself in the, and I'm like, who is this? Like, why do I look like that? And I knew that changing that would take so much time. And the idea of you going to the gym and still showing up every day, as we were discussing, it kind of is hard on its own, because sometimes it's good because you're motivated, but some other times you look again in the mirror and like, oh, nothing happened. I'm still going week after week. So yeah, I have so much respect to how you put it that I was getting a bit of stares because again, I look ill, but then you went past through it normally.
Yeah, it will get better. It's just one of them things. I think once you do it and you do it again and again and again, you're like, I can do this.
Yeah. Tell me about the gym community that your dad called your second family.
Oh, the Menathon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Menathon, basically, so it's Tom, Dale, and Jack. So they're the main guys who run it, and they're great guys. Like they are my second family. So my dad's happy that I found a good fitness community. So I landed in Dubai on the Thursday, and I went straight there on the Sunday. And I've been.
How did you know about Menathon?
So one of my best pals here, Bouvet, Ryan, he just said to me, "Do you fancy going to this thing on weekend, Menathon?" I was like, "Yeah, we'll have a go. What's it about?" He said, "We just turn up on a Sunday and we train." I was like, "All right, pretty much straightforward." And then we went in and it was just full of savages. Like everyone's just in shape, beasts. And then, but such warm, welcoming people and genuine and down to earth. I was like, you know what, I like these. Instantly, like as soon as I got there, I was like, right, I like yous, I'm staying. And then as the weeks went on and progressed, you just got more closer and more nice. I thought, you know what, these are great people. These are great people to be around. Like they give off good energy. So I want to stay around them. And then now I call them like my family. Like if I don't turn up on a weekend, they're the first ones to message me to make sure I'm okay. They'll check up in the week and they'll hold yourself accountable, which is good. And they're a good bunch of lads.
Why did they call it Menathon?
I think it's just, there's a big stigma about men's mental health at the moment, and it's just getting worse and worse, and men feel quite scared to talk about the feelings when it's totally okay. And I think the idea about it is we just get all the men, it's totally free, come down on a Sunday at Kite Beach and we just get together, chat before we train, and then afterwards we just talk. We're not talking always about our feelings, you know, we're just talking, have a good laugh if anyone needs any help. And I think Dubai is quite a lonely place as well if you're on your own. So it's good to have a community and friends to talk to. And the whole aspect behind it is a problem shared is a problem halved, which is a good thing.
You were telling me about something before we started the episode. You were telling me about, what was it? It was a challenge I think you've done.
Yeah, we did the dead ball challenge last year, the 31k. So it was about, I can't remember fully, a lad killed himself last year. He didn't make it to the group. He wanted to come, but he didn't make it because I can't remember fully, but he took his own life. So we did 31 kilometres and we was carrying a dead ball at 20 kg between three. And the whole idea is behind that is a problem shared is a problem halved. And it's sad. I don't think no one should take their own life, unfortunately, but...
Yeah. And as you said, that men's mental health, especially in like these days, maybe it's becoming better with more awareness.
I'd say it's getting more better, but I think it's getting worse at the same time.
Yeah, I think so.
There's a big stigma of like, men have got to be tough. Yeah, I get men have got to be tough, but we still have feelings too. You know, mud sticks. Like if you call me, it's still going to upset me. Like I can show a brave face, but we're all human at the end of the day. Do you know? And I think nowadays, especially in Dubai now, it's getting better. There's loads of fitness community groups where you can go to and talk. But people will listen. You just got to reach out. And I think people are scared to reach out and think, oh, I don't want to put my problems onto other people. Like I'm always open. You could message me anytime. Anyone can message me with the problem, and I'll always listen because it could change someone's day, you know.
How do you see is a good way to start somewhere by raising awareness maybe, or being there for someone? So do you think that you, as you said now, that you're always open for someone to text you, how do you think, or what are the things that you think we might do as a community to kind of shed light more on that? Because as you were saying, it's becoming worse and becoming better at the same time. And I was reading the other day that men were 4 times more likely to commit suicide after facing a problem than women, not because they cannot take the problem. It's because they're not able to communicate about it.
Yeah.
And they keep it all in. And I've had guests before who told me that they hit rock bottom where they couldn't communicate or put in words what they were feeling, and they were crying themselves out, where they couldn't show it to their partner, they couldn't show it to their kids, they couldn't show it to anyone because unfortunately, there's always a set of expectation
Yeah.
from men, which is not really discussed all the time. You have to be the perfect partner, the perfect dad, the perfect friend, the strongest. But then at the end of the day, you're passing through things as well.
I think it's the ego thing as well. Like as a man, like we're a man. Like we're proud of who we are. And I think if we show a bit of emotion, I feel like some people feel like they think less manly of themselves. You know, whereas me, I don't care. Like if I'm sad, to be fair, you won't be able to tell I'm sad. I'm always positive. I always try to stay positive. If something bad happens, I'll try to look at a solution instead of the problem. You know, and I'm around really good people as well. That helps. And I try not to dwell on problems as much because it'll just snowball effect. Does that make sense? And then say if I'm upset and someone's upset me, I'll like, right, well that's upset me. Don't do it again. And then move on from that situation. I'll try not to dwell on it. And I'm very open with it, you know. And you got to speak to the right people who won't judge you. And if you're telling people your emotions or you're scared to, I don't think they're the right people to be in your life, unfortunately.
I was having a conversation with someone as well about a community in Dubai where he was an overweight person. He was having more of a really bad lifestyle situation due to a lot of problems that he was facing. And he recognized this. This is by his own words. And he signed up with a running community. In the morning, they go down every day at 5 a.m. And he said that he was so ashamed of himself in the morning because it's a running community. Yeah. They're running and you're just really big and you don't know what to do. And then he was saying that I was really in a bad shape. I was hitting rock bottom in every aspect of my life. And then I got with these men in the morning and they said, it's an easy run today. He said, it's an easy run.
Yeah, I'll say that's an easy run and you do it.
Yeah, exactly. He said that they were like there on the horizon and I couldn't even keep up with them running. And I was out of breath and I was barely jogging and they were running and talking because it was easy run for them. And then he said that at some point they noticed that I'm not there. So they turned and a couple of men went back and they walked with him because it was a walking pace for them almost. And he was trying to jog breathless. And he told me, I didn't communicate anything, but this is what I needed.
Yeah.
This is everything I needed to try to get myself better. And he said from that day onwards, I showed up every single day.
That's all it takes. It just takes one person, two people just to say, you know what, you feel wanted and cared. You know, if he's not spoke to anyone and he's just struggling at the back and people say, it's nice to be nice. You know, if I see someone struggling or someone's upset, I'll always say, you okay? Every conversation I'll start with someone, I'll just say, hi, you okay? Always. And then, like in that situation, it's great. Give me goosebumps.
Yeah, it was really meaningful for me as well because there are those small things that you do to people that they're not really able to open up and communicate with you about their problems. But there are those little things that happen where it kind of restores your confidence in yourself and kind of shows you that it's okay. Yeah, it's totally fine.
Everyone's got to start from somewhere. Like there's a saying from a gym and it said, every expert was once a beginner. And I love that saying because it's true. You know, we all start from somewhere. Like I remember when I started the Menifon and was just doing loads of running. I was like, I hate running. I hate it. And now I love it because everyone calls me Baggins, like David Goggins. So, and I love running now.
Yeah.
So you just got to start.
When you were talking about the transition from weight transition, you're talking about gaining back your strength and also gaining back more kilos. You're putting on more kilos. How did your relationship with food change?
Oh, well. So my idea behind everything was eat everything. Just eat everything. Don't worry about what you're eating, just get it in. So I was eating cakes, chocolate, biscuits, crisps, nachos, you name it. I was eating everything. Like the goal in my head was just put on weight as fast as you can. You can't be skinny. And that's just what I did. But with my bag, with my colostomy, I don't absorb food as much. So I can get away with eating the bad food. Obviously it's not good to eat the bad food, but I can get away with eating it and not putting as much on as everyone else. Like, because it's like a conveyor belt. I'll eat, 4 hours later, it comes out. So I kind of enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie to you. I enjoyed it. But now I prefer to eat better and good foods. Obviously on the weekends I'll have a cheeky Cheesecake Factory here and there. But yeah, the relationship with food was good. It was good.
When you were starting to go to the gym again, you went to, was it boxing or MMA?
My gym that I worked at was a mixed martial art gym.
Mm-hmm. And that was the first thing that you got in?
No, so I started doing my weights, and then I started getting back into the boxing and Muay Thai thing because I've always done it and I love it. And the community there is unreal. Like SBG, it's just a sense of belonging. Like everyone at that gym, and when I mean it, they're like my second family as well. And when I was in hospital, all checked in with me. They all come visited me, and these weren't my immediate friends at the time, but they come and see me more than people that I've grew up with, and that means so much to me, you know. And these are people I've worked with, and they was there for me all the time, making sure I'm okay in the gym. And then as I say, your job's always there when you come out. Don't worry about a thing. And they just treated me normal as well, which was a good thing. So yeah, shout out to SBG.
And when you were, how did you start getting back your strength? Tell me about your workout routine now, maybe.
Back in the day, it was just pure bodybuilding, just my dad. My dad helped me a lot. So I was just doing like bro splits, chest day, back day, leg day. And then it was obviously little small weights. And then as it progressed, I was getting stronger, and I had to stick to machines. So not a lot of free weight stuff, just because my core wasn't strong enough. So I was just sticking to machines. And luckily, because I'm a PT, I knew what I was doing. I feel like that's what helped. And I got better and quicker, faster, and doing it in a safe way. Whereas other people tend to, I'm just going to jump in and do this and that. I can't do that, I can't do this. You can do anything. You just got to take it easy.
Sean, when you first started, when you went back to the gym, how did you trust your body when the doctors told you you need to be back in 12 weeks, not in 6 weeks, and you went back early on?
I'm quite rebellious. Okay. I don't like people telling me what to do. And you know your body better than anyone else. Like if you said to me you're ill and I said you're not, who am I to say you're not ill? So whereas my doctor said to me, you won't be able to lift weights, you won't be able to have a six-pack, you won't be able to do this and that. They just say things to cover themselves, which I get, it's okay. But don't tell me things that I want to do. I want to get back into the gym. I want to get back to doing martial arts. I want to go out and party with my friends. I want to live a normal life. Who are you to say I can't do that? Like they're trying to take away something I love and enjoy and take it away. So I was just like, I'm going to rebel and do the total opposite. And it's worked out okay. It's just doing things slow. Don't rush. Take your time. And it worked out for me. But like I said, you know your body better than anyone else.
And did this give you more reason to push further?
I think, yeah, because I like to prove people wrong. Like I get a buzz off it. Like if someone says I can't do it, I'm like, all right, okay. And it puts fuel into my fire. And like that's the same thing when it comes back to my dad and saying, remember who you are, you're a Carr. And I think I'm always chasing that, like, what else can I do? What else can I do? And like I'm still thinking now, like, what other extreme thing can I do? And I'm just going to keep chasing and chasing.
You're doing your high rocks.
Yeah, so I'm competing this Saturday as well. So doing my first pro.
That's the first time you get in high rocks.
Yeah, so I did doubles with my partner last time, and I enjoyed it that much. I was like, right, well, I might as well jump in straight in the deep end. I'll just do pro single.
Wow. For me, my first experience as well in a proper comp, or just going there with the fitness, like more of athletes or high performers, I would call them. It was great to see the vibe in the venue, and the you walking in and crossing that finish line meant a lot to me. Because at some point, the reason why I asked you why, if them telling you not, or you're not able to do it, if it fuels you, because also for me, I was never able to run as a kid because I had an open heart surgery. And for me to finish a competition like High Rocks, which has 8K running, and I run really slow.
It doesn't matter. The fact you finished it, that's a big thing.
Exactly, 100%. So for me, it was more about me proving that I'm able to get in a High Rocks competition where I'm competing with myself.
Exactly.
It's more me trying to prove to myself that I'm able to get in there and finish it, no matter what is my time. Although we did set a time, me and my coach, but still, it was more of go in, enjoy it,
have fun,
try to get to the finish line, and then at least you know how much your body can push, and then the next time you start working towards that.
And that's when you get the time.
And I remember the time I crossed that finish line, it was so emotional for me because like compression fracture.
Yeah, you start thinking of everything you've been through.
I can't run. See, I did it.
No, but you've done it though, and it's good.
Yeah, exactly. So this is why I asked about the fire that kind of fuels you.
It's good. I think everyone's got their own individual story, like, and it's important to you. Like, your problem's big to you, my problem's big to me, and it's the same for everyone else. And I feel like everyone feels like, oh well, he's been through a lot worse, but she's been through. It doesn't matter. Like, it's big to you. It's big to you. And that's what motivates you. It's like, so when I done the marathon in January this year, so I did it with my friend Sharif, one of my good friends, and I took it on 3 weeks' notice. So I didn't prepare whatsoever.
3 weeks?
Yeah, 3 weeks' notice. I was like, yeah, we'll be fine. Because we'd just done that 31K with the dead ball a few weeks back. So we felt invincible. Me and endorphins. I was like, right, well, if I can do that, I can run a marathon. And then when I ran the marathon, it was horrible. But towards the end, he came back and finished it with me. And I was just in the pain cave. But when I was doing that, I was thinking of everything I've been through. I was like, as if I'm in Dubai running a marathon. I'm just about to finish it, and I was reflecting, and then I cried when I got there. I was like, wow, how am I here? And it's similar to the thing we've been through. You think of all the bad times, but it makes the good times feel even better then.
You cried when you crossed the finish line?
I cried like a girl. Yeah, I cried like I was just done the Dubai race.
Yeah, and why did you cry at the end? Because I had the same experience, and everyone was telling me, why are you crying? And I'm like, I don't know.
Probably a mixture of pain, and then I was just like, I was tired, the pain, and I was like, wow, I've just done a marathon. And when you go through a stomach operation, they say to you, it's the equivalent of running a marathon, the pain. So that was going through me, and I was like, I'd rather have an operation than run this again.
What is something that you're looking forward to do as well now?
I'm just to compete. I love competing. I love challenging myself. I love battling with my own thoughts in my head. So like when I do my runs and I'm doing my exercises, I'll never use headphones. Because when something's tough...
Now I understand why they're calling you more
I always I do like a few months back I did 21K on a treadmill with no headphones. Like I just like to get in my own head and test myself. I think it's probably to do with trauma, probably. But I just like challenges, and then I don't know, it just gets me going. I enjoy pain.
Wow. I've heard that from my coach, but you're the second person telling me that you enjoy pain.
I don't know, it just gives you something to work towards. And like, I'm always chasing, right, what's next? Well, I've done this, right, well, what's next? So like after the high rocks pro, I'll do another one, but then I'm like, well, maybe I'll do an ultra, or maybe I'll do something even more crazy. I just enjoy it, because I just think, if I tell someone I'm doing this and that, and they'll go, well, why are you doing that? And you're adding fuel to my flames. Just keep going. Then they call you crazy. It just adds more.
I think that's the beauty of it, no?
Yeah.
I did a half marathon a couple of months ago, and I remember, so I signed up for that half marathon. I didn't know what to expect. And then at some point, a little bit before the half marathon, they sent like instructions, and they said that they would have cutoff times.
All right, okay.
Where like they'd have like a cutoff times at 4K, they'd have a cutoff time at 8, at 12, whatever, and then the last cutoff time was at 20K, and it was 21.1. And then I was throwing a joke a couple of days before in front of someone who is a really dear friend. However, they have this realistic expectation of things. Yeah. And then I was throwing that in front of, I said, as a joke, I said, imagine I get disqualified at 20 kilometers, like, because they would put like those buses and you would just take you, and you can't pass the finish line. Then I'm like, imagine I get disqualified at 20 kilometers. And then he looked at me, he was like, listen, you need to tell your mind, and you need to accept the fact you might not reach the 20 kilometers.
Yeah.
And then after the 15 kilometers during the half marathon, I was in pain. I was in pain. My lower back was killing me. And then I'm like, you know what? you said I'm not going to pass
Yeah.
the 21, but I'm going to show you. And then I kept on running. And then when I reached the 21.1, when I crossed the finish line, I started crying because at some point I felt the person after that half marathon is not the same person before the half marathon. And it fueled my belief in myself.
It's probably done you a favour saying it. You know, being nice but cruel at the same time. Yeah. That's what you need. What time did you get?
I got like 2 hours, 46 minutes.
Good. It doesn't matter. That's good.
Yeah, I was so happy.
And the fact that you've done it as well, like you're saying, you've gone through not running to running. That's a big achievement.
And even when we were discussing it with my coach, the cutoff time was 3 hours. And I'm like, there's no way I can do it in less than, like, what do you mean? I don't run. I have an open heart surgery. I can't make it. And then he was like, you can make it. And then he kept on telling me the same thing you were telling me. It's self-talk, like positive
it's self-talk.
self-talk.
You've got to be delusional and persuade yourself. You can easily talk your way out of things, and it's a lot harder to talk yourself into things. So this is why you're a product of your own environment. So like, if you're giving me bad energy and you're just negative, I don't want you in my life. I don't need you in my life. You don't bring anything to me. I want to be around people that are positive and be delusional. If you said to me tomorrow you want to be an astronaut, I'd be like, yeah, buzzing. Come on, let's do it. What do you need to do? Like, I'm delusional, but I want you to do well. I'm not going to be like, oh, shut up, you're being stupid. I don't like any negativity whatsoever. You know, if you said to me you want to do a run tomorrow, yeah, let's do it. Let's do a marathon tomorrow. Like one of my friends, Ryan, he said, sometimes on a Saturday he'll just text me saying, do you fancy doing a half marathon? Just randomly. I said, yeah, let's go, let's do it. I just want to be around good energy people. It's infectious.
Yeah, definitely. When you're talking, you always talk about finding your why. What does that mean?
So your why do you do things? Why do you train? Like, what's my why? My why is to why I'm alive. I love helping people, and I get a buzz off knowing that I help people in a good way. And if I can help change someone's lives, I'm quite not selfish in the sense like I'll put others first before me. I'd rather you be happy than me. I get more of a buzz. So if I only had £1 left or £1 dirham and you needed it, and I've only got £1 dirham to my name, I'd give it you, knowing that'll help you. So that's my why. I love helping people, and it just gets me going.
And do you think that also what you passed through is your why? So because you talk a lot about the 50-50 chance, and you said that in a lot of instances, you said that this fuels me because I'm alive. Yeah,
of course. You got to so when I went through it all, it makes you got to appreciate life so much, and I think we all take it for granted. Like, we can walk, we're sat here now, we're talking, we can drink. I had to learn how to walk again. And in my head, when I was doing it, I was like, well, I can run, I can walk, I can do anything. But when the nurses are holding me up and I can't even stand up and I can't even go to the toilet myself, you know, these are the things we take for granted. Even little things, going for a walk with your friends or family, going to a party and just swimming, just the general things we do every day, people take it for granted. And I think because life moves so fast, I think sometimes we just need to take a step back and be like, well, you know what, I'm doing actually okay.
You're letting people believe in themselves again by just showing up, creating content, posting it on social. Because before you were, before when people were passing through things like that, there was no means for them to affect people's lives. And what you do is incredibly beautiful. I have so much respect to all the content that you put out there, honestly. All the things that are not really talked about, that you don't care of opening the subjects, talking about them. And as you can see, when I first read the comment that I got, this kind of, it made me pause and think like, oh, so look at the way he's affecting other people by just showing up and posting content out there. When you go around and talk to people, do you remember any instances where you kind of remember it very well because someone told you something, or someone was passing through a bad time, or someone reached out to you? Are there instances that remind you constantly of the importance of you doing that?
Yeah, of course. Like, I get messages, I'll probably get maybe 2-3 a week. People saying like, I love your content, keep going, bro, and what you're doing is helping. And then the community is quite good online. So there is a lot of people reach out, and I'll always message back. I'll always try and get back to people. You know, it's it's one of those things where I don't feel like online there's a lot of people like me, in the sense, obviously there's a lot of people with the bag. Like, I've got a few people, but I'm very boisterous. I'm loud. Like, I don't care. I like to go out party. I like to go out with my friends. I'll take my top off. I train in the gym. Like, I'm a lad. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the other people are quiet. They're happy to be quiet, live a nice normal life, walk the dog. Whereas me, I'm like, nah, take myself off, do this, do that. I want to do these competitions. I want people to. This is normal. It's not. It's okay. I don't want no sympathy whatsoever. And this is like the route I want to go down. Is no one cares. It's okay. The only difference between you and me, we poo standing up. That is the only difference. No one's bothered. You're going to be okay. You just need to carry on. Like, I'm more like the tough side of things. Does that make sense? So when people message me, they always ask me for advice. I said, it'll get better. It's okay. Like, and they try and come through with a problem. It's like, it's bad. Do this, this and this. Try this. And then just on your way, you know? Instead of just be like, no, it's okay. It'll be all right.
It's the mindset.
Yeah, it's all about mindset. I always ask them, like, what are your friends like?
Mm.
Who are the people who you hang around with? Are they motivating you? Are they nice to you? Or did they make you feel alone? Like, my friends, they take the piss out of me all the time. Like, you know, they've heard all the stories all the time, and they make me normal. They don't like cowl around me. It's like, oh, is your bag okay? They're like, oh, your bag stinks, and we joke about around it all the time, and that makes me feel better, rather than just making me feel like I'm a freak in the corner. Like, they make me feel normal. So I always say you're a product of your own environment, and your family help as well.
Yeah, for sure. So we're coming to the end of the episode, but I want to highlight one thing that stays with me all the time. There are people that when you look at them, they become an integral part of your life, although you don't see them personally or you meet them personally. And because of what they share, or because of who you are, or because of who they are. And Sean, you are one of those people that shares so much content on social. You motivate a lot of people by just showing up. You, at some point when I was following you and before I reached out to have this episode, you became an integral part of my life, and I'm sure everyone's life as well, many. When I'm in the gym and I remind myself, what's my excuse? And sometimes I watch your videos going so hard on yourself. And once I read one of your captions, and it stays with me. And I think I really see why they call you more Goggins. But they compare you to Goggins because you said at one point, I'm not done. Something like you're not done even if you're tired unless the job is actually done. Yeah. So you give your 110% in everything you do. So
we did an event at Menathon, and I literally sent it all the way through, and I'm on my hands and knees and I couldn't breathe. And we was doing the fireman's carry, like where you're carrying someone on your shoulders, and I was dying. And then, but they'd shout me, going, right, Sean, you're up. And I'd just jump up and I'd do it tired. And I've always, like, that's one of my things. If I'm doing something and I'm tired, do it tired. Just do it. It's not going to look pretty. It's not going to look ugly. You're still doing it. You know, I'm not one of these though. Oh, I quit. I'll never quit. Never. I'd rather die than quit. Wow. Yeah, I'm not one of them. Because then if you quit later on, I'll be like, oh, and I'll just think about, why did I do that? I should have just carried on. It's a lot more worse. I'd just rather do it in a lot of pain. What keeps you going when you hit that threshold of pain? And it always stems back to remember who you are. Come on, you can do it. Don't give up. And I just I psych myself up. Do you know, like a hype man. So I'm my own hype man. Come on, you can do it. Remember, you're the man. You're Sean Carr. You can do it. Everyone calls you bagging for a reason. Don't look soft. Come on. And then I'm doing it. I'm like, right, okay. Because then I always think if I don't do it, it'll be 10 times worse, and I'll sit at home and I'll think, oh, why did you do this? Why didn't you do that? You could have been better. But if I know I give 110% and I don't quit, I've done a good job. It's like you get your self-respect back. Yeah, I get the self-respect back from myself. Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for being here. No, thank you. It's been a pleasure. It's been a real pleasure. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate everything you do for yourself and other people. So thank you so much again. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Being here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Unformed. The most powerful stories come from the ones we see every day. Not every journey is loud. Some are quiet, raw, and still changing lives. This is Unformed, where real stories unfold.